Hey everyone, this is Josh from before. I'm here with McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse King Shazam. And I'm sure that you Shazam fans out there are frustrated that the first version of the character we're getting from this line is this sort of Joker infected one. And I gotta say, I don't think this is going to be a great review just looking at him in the box. There's a lot that rubs me the wrong way. But let's just get him out and we'll start talking about it. Well, he smells really good. Anytime they've got a lot of this rubbery material on them, they have a wonderful smell right out of the box. So got to give that high marks. Oh boy. This is a pretty cool design in theory, but man, I don't know. So first of all, let's just start kind of top to bottom. He's my lights just fell. My one like shelf that shows up in all these videos, the lights on one side are falling down all the time. The lights on the other side have totally crapped out. Oh, it's tough. It's tough out here, folks. This head sculpt is really cool. He's got this big lantern jaw. He looks really evil, but that paint is terrible. That paint is atrocious on the face there. Those eyes. I mean, you just got to compare this to Infected Superman. Look at that paint. And then look at this. Whew. Really bad. I hate to say it, but it's not good. And then moving down, he's got these this like feathery shawl sort of thing, this like Brian Eno on his back. It is a reuse of the one from Robin King. Not that we're surprised by that, and not that that in itself is a total deal breaker, but you can see this Robin King one had these fantastic like paint highlights on it that really gave it a lot more dimension. This is just this flat brown. It's the same color as his sort of BDSM sort of harness here, and it looks flat. He's a bit leaner than some of these, than obviously like this Superman. I don't know if Shazam is the right guy to give a more lean body shape. I feel like he should have a huge swole chest and huge pythons, rippling muscles kind of thing. But he's a bit leaner. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, any mega Shazam fans want to chime in and tell me how you feel about that. The thing about any toy line is like after a while, if they don't change up the sort of proportions, it starts to feel like you're just getting the same figure every single time. You know, and it's just got the same arm size, the same chest sizes, and the same articulation. You know, it can start to feel a little tired. But this is, you know, this lean body shape, I like it. And this texture in his costume looks fantastic. It's a shame it doesn't have any more paint on it just to make that, give it some more definition. But his spandex costume isn't my biggest gripe. It's all these gauntlets, his boots, his tunic here that's hanging down. It's just all the same color. They put a little details in there. The gold, it's a great looking gold paint. The details that they did paint, they look really nice and pop, but they just needed more, you know, like these spikes on his hands are nice. The sculpt on these is fine. They just need to be, you know, I love all the straps hanging off. That looks really nice. It's cool. But man, there's just no definition. And I just think this guy needs a little more color. Here's my biggest gripe. His cape is it's a mirrored version of this Infected Superman. So they just, you know, they mirrored it. They filled in these holes. They made it of a little thicker material. And they put this texture on it that is kind of cool in theory. It's this ratty cheesecloth kind of looking thing. But I don't know for certain how this was achieved, but it doesn't look like it just looks like it was almost like printed on, and it doesn't seem like it really moves with the way that the cape is moving. Like it's just on this diagonal sort of line that doesn't like, the cape is bending, right? So there should be some sort of like indication that this pattern, this texture would be moving with the shape of the cape. And it doesn't seem to be doing that. It's just on this like this horizontal, and it just looks like they pressed it into the rubber almost instead of like really sculpting it. I don't know. That's all conjectural. I don't want to misspeak or misrepresent the artistry that went into it, but it doesn't seem right. It feels off. I gotta say. So let's move him around. He's got this really cool hood. It looks, you know, kind of like an evil monk sort of thing. Let's see if his head doesn't move under that. As far as I can tell, hang on. That head doesn't move inside that hood. And just as a point of comparison, this Azrael, the head moves inside that hood. And the hood moves and the head moves independent of it. And that's just a much stronger execution. In my opinion, could have gone a little harder on that, but it's cool. And again, I love that face sculpt. They just didn't do it any favors with the paint. Nice and articulated. These straps hang a bit loose, very thin. But he's got the articulation we've come to expect. You know, if you've seen it before, bicep cut, double elbows. He's got interesting hand sculpts here. But man, they didn't even sand off those seams right there, like out of the mold. It looks kind of cheap. And then this like the paint on the skin tone just has this like chalky feel. I don't know. It just feels not very high quality. Nice clearance on those legs. Really nice clearance. No rotation of the hips to speak of. If you watch my reviews a lot, you know I'm a big fan of that. And he's not really there. Not really a crunch. Torso's kind of tight, but it moves, rotates in two spots. Side to side, it's really great. See if they could just get this side to side motion. If they can implement that forward, that's the big thing missing from these. His lightning bolt here is nice. It's a separate piece and it's soft, so it gives a little bit, but you know you can't put him in a crunch. So really ugly knee cuts on those. What is that? That's weird. Compared to the elbows, which are not nearly as egregious. I mean, it's a little ugly back there, but it's not as bad as some of these. But those knees are pretty uggo. But he's got the full kick. He's got the ball joints down there. He has two fists, which is a nice addition. Always good to have some extra hands, especially because these two hands are almost a little, like I mentioned this one, and it's almost like that, like I'll crush your head guy from Kids in the Hall. And this one's a little similar. It's that pinchy sort of hand. So they seem, it's a little redundant to have two like that. The hands swap out very easily. It's nice. Nice to have extra hands. I wish this guy ought to have a flight stand. I mean, it's Shazam. You know, his feet don't need to touch the ground that much. Here he is again with that infected Superman, which I think is the main one to compare him to, because they're both these Jokerized versions of the characters. And you just, I think this Superman really, in contrast, like can show you just all the things that are lacking from this. Wash on him that with a another color that brings more definition out of that. The face sculpt obviously is much stronger, or the paint on the face is much stronger. It just and the articulation The cuts are considerably cleaner. And even seeing him next to Etrigan, which is a release from the same wave, basically, they just went, in my opinion, they went a lot harder. Even though it's minimal paint, less paint than that Superman, it's still just, there's more contrast. It pops. It's got more presence. So that's King Shazam, folks. I wanted to like it, but it's not for me. This isn't a keeper, in my opinion. Some really cool aspects to it, but just they missed the mark in so many places that it just kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So there you go, guys. King Shazam, make up your own mind. If you're into it, get him, and don't feel bad about him just because I didn't like it. And if you don't like him, don't get him. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.